Hello, everyone. I am Jenny Terry, the Technical Career Coach for Code Louisville students. August Mapp is the Technical Career Coach for Code Kentucky students. We assist with all things career readiness related while you are a student, as well as anytime after completing the program. This video will cover those similarities as well as differences when it comes to virtual versus in-person interviews. While there are certainly differences between virtual and in-person interviews, there are a greater number of similarities. In the next few slides, we'll look at some of those similarities that occur before, during, and after the interview. When an interview has been scheduled, you certainly want to plan ahead, whether you will be meeting virtually or in person. Practicing your answers to both those behavioral type questions, as well as walking through your projects, is key to getting past those stumbles, nervous energy, and repetitive behaviors. Whether you practice by yourself or with a friend, mentor, or coach, your comfortability level with interviewing will be positively affected. Whenever possible, review the job description thoroughly prior to the interview. It will be important to have the skills that the employer is looking for fresh on your mind as you answer those interview questions. You can mold your answers around those desired qualities that you possess. Selecting proper clothing is important for any interview. For most junior to mid-level tech positions, business casual is fine. Khakis or slacks with a blouse or button-down shirt. For upper-level tech roles, a suit and tie may be more appropriate. And yes, you should be getting fully dressed even for those virtual sessions. Setting aside enough time is where some people falter, especially with tech interviews. You may need to meet with several people back to back, have a panel interview, which tends to take longer, or be expected to do some type of exercise during or just after the interview. Be sure to clear your schedule for a few hours just in case. That first impression is still so important. Maintain professionalism in speech and behavior. Make eye contact as much as possible, whether that be looking at someone's face or at the camera, and be cautious of doing things like folding your arms, tapping your leg, or touching your hair or face. Actually listen to the conversation taking place as well as the questions, so you can be engaged and show your personality as you answer. Remember that while the interviewer wants to know your skill level, they also want to know whether you will fit into their environment. Following any type of interview, it's nice to go the extra mile and send a thank you email, letting them know you appreciate their time and look forward to hearing from them. While waiting to hear something, make sure you remain alert to emails, voicemails, and texts. Having a full voicemail or missing an email that gets sent to spam could actually take you out of the running for a role. Always evaluate how you performed in the interview. Were there questions you could have answered in a better way? Any concerns you need to address? Do you need more practice with exercises or need to improve on a skill? Be sure to look at those things and make a plan to actively work on growth in those areas. Now we'll look at differences between virtual and in-person interviews. Preparing for virtual interviews include setting up a space that is quiet, lacks in distractions, the internet signal is strong, and there won't be any unplanned interruptions. Your background should be relatively blank or at least void of chaos. Animals and children should not be within earshot or sight, and your phone should be silenced. Check lighting, video, and audio prior to connecting to the interview. Be aware of the weather as well as the time of day to determine if the lighting may change during that interview time slot. Set up extra lighting as a precaution. Log on for the interview 10 to 15 minutes before the scheduled time in order to address any last-minute issues. Preparing for in-person interviews can look a lot more like checking for the best traffic route and gauging how busy that route may be, depending on that time of day. Will the weather be bad, causing traffic backups or wet clothing? Plan accordingly and try to arrive around 15 minutes prior to the scheduled interview time. With virtual interviews, the interviewer will mostly only be seeing the front of you. This is one reason you want your background to be void of chaos. If there's too much going on behind you, the concentration will inevitably not be on you. In person, the interviewer has access to see all of the details. Making sure the back of your hair is combed, your clothes are not covered in pet fur or lint, you don't smell of body odor or cigarettes, or smell like you bathed in perfume or cologne is essential to making a good first impression. A bit of an advantage to virtual interviews is that the interviewer won't be able to see all of your tells. Some of that nervous behavior may be hidden, and most importantly, you can have cheat sheets. Make a list of those skills they're looking for and shorthand examples of your experience with using them. If there's a certain software or word that you have trouble remembering, write it down. You can take notes around your monitor and refer to them as needed. Just don't lean forward and read off of them, and they'll be none the wiser. For additional tips, check out the Student Resources folder. You can find the link in Deliverables and Resources at the top of your Career Readiness Lessons page. As always, reach out to your designated technical career coach with any questions on this topic or anything else career readiness related.